Hello, truth seekers. I find this to be a necessary call-out video. This is just a quick example showing how the disinformation circuit works. We have this Twitter "What's Happening" headline. Arizona auditors say voter data is intact, walking back previous claims about Maricopa County audit according to fact checkers. So you get a link to this CNN.com piece.
Tonight, a bitter feud erupting among Arizona Republicans over an election audit of the state's most populous county, with the Republican chairman of Maricopa County's Board of Supervisors accusing Republicans of, quote, a grift disguised as an audit. It comes as former President Trump is now floating another baseless accusation about Maricopa's county elections management, now saying, quote, I'm quoting a former president, the entire database of Maricopa County in Arizona has been deleted.
Okay, so this article goes on to say that Ben Cotton, the founder of CYFIR, one of the companies involved in the Arizona Senate audit, supposedly sided with the Arizona County Board of Supervisors. Quote, all of this, however, may be a moot point because subsequently I've been able to recover all of the deleted files and I have access to the data, Cotton said. CNN then claims Cotton did not directly acknowledge that auditors had erred and that characterizing the files as having been deleted was false. But this explanation made clear that the database had never been deleted. If you just read the statement, it does not make clear that the database has never been deleted. So I take you to the Arizona Audit Twitter. So here's a statement by Ben Cotton of Surfer. My testimony on May 19th before the Arizona Senate is being taken out of context by some media outlets. To confirm, the database's directory of the EMS primary server was, capital WAS, was deleted, containing the voting databases. I was able to recover the deleted databases through forensic data recovery process. Alright, so we'll just go directly from the horse's mouth.
Did you determine that the database directory had been deleted?
I did, and if I could add a little bit of color behind that. So we follow a very strict forensics acquisition process in which we don't turn on a system if it's delivered to us in a powered off state. We remove the hard drives, we perform forensics imaging with write blocks to prevent any changes to those hard drives, and we produce a bit-for-bit forensics copy of that particular drive. In the case of the EMS server, there were actually 6 drives. 2 of those drives were for the operating system, and they were in what we call a mirror configuration. So if something was changed anywhere on the operating system drive, that would automatically be reflected on both drives. The other 4 drives were data drives, and it turns out that they were in a RAID configuration known as 1+0. So in other words, you have a volume that is not only mirrored, but it's also data redundancy and striped across both drives as well. Obviously, if I don't turn on a system, I don't have access to the RAID parameters, and the county did not provide those to us. So I had to do a discovery process to determine what that RAID configuration was. Part of that process is a scan across those drives to detect partitions of data and to also detect what we call a master file table. So a master file table, very simply put, is a record of all of the directories and the files that are contained in that partition, and a pointing and a pointer to where that data resides on the hard drive. In the course of performing that MFT discovery, I discovered a MFT that clearly indicated that the database directory was deleted from that server. So all of this, however, may be a moot point because subsequently I've been able to recover all of those deleted files and I have access to that data.
Okay, so from watching that entire statement, do you walk away with the notion that the files were never deleted? In order to help construct their smear, CNN then goes on to reference Stephen Richer, the Maricopa County recorder, who wrote a letter basically stating that the audit team did not properly reconstruct the RAID storage array, and that created the issue for access where the files would otherwise have been accessible. However, you just saw in Cotton's testimony that there was a specific access key he was not provided by the county, so he had to then reconstruct the RAID storage array as a result. Of course, that information is omitted in this article because they are biased. We are performing data continuity checks to ensure that the recovered databases are usable. So viewer, you see the game that's at play to essentially control what people are able to know. So you have a secondary media source quoting a primary media source, the secondary source being Twitter, so Twitter's going to be the propagator. They're quoting CNN, and then CNN is misquoting the actual event. So because Twitter is one step removed, they're able to take that disinformation and then spread it more widely without direct accountability. CNN actually has to do a retraction, which I don't think will ever occur. Given that about a third of the Twitter accounts that once followed my account had been deleted during the Hunter Biden issue in the fall, as well as what happened in early January, you see that there is a clear, undeniable, indisputable double standard. When I post a YouTube video on this topic, it's likely going to get merely 200 views at the most. And this is mainly due to the fact that the YouTube algorithm places all of the checkmark media sources above smaller content creators, particularly when political topics are ever discussed. The only way this is going to stop is that if we each as individuals create our own content, despite the small size of the channels, and expose the falsehoods. If we can get a few million digital warriors to do just that, to look for any type of contradiction and expose it immediately, I think that may begin to change the tide just due to the sheer numbers of people being involved. Short of us each taking individual action, it's only God. If God deems that the American experiment is over and this is all going to be gone and we're going to go under a 70 to 200 year red regime, then there's little nothing else we can do but just wait and enjoy the ride. Anyways, peace.